Hello and welcome back once again to the Wrestling Rant. It's time for the SmackDown spoilers. And, of course, as always, my notes come from NoDQ.com. And apparently, this episode of SmackDown was taped in Biloxi, Mississippi. So, there's that. Two dark matches. Firstly, Kofi Kingston defeats Tyler Breeze. Okay, fine. Second dark match, and this one puzzles me. Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn defeat The Ascension. So that's total NXT match. Now, maybe it's just because it's a dark match and it has no bearing on NXT or anything else, but The Ascension just got done with the longest NXT tag title reign in history, which, admittedly, NXT history isn't all that long, but still. Anyways, and they lose to a cobbled together tag team of Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn, who have only tagged together. Well, I don't watch NXT, so I don't know if they've ever actually tagged together in NXT, but they had that one match on Raw the one week versus, who was it, Tyler Breeze and Tyson Kidd. So, to my knowledge, that's the only time they've ever tagged together. And you have them defeat the Ascension, who have been teaming together for like a year, and were tag team champions for probably just about that entire year. Something like that. Anyways, who cares? Moving into the actual show. First match of SmackDown. Jimmy Uso defeats Stardust. Of course, building towards the tag team title match at the pay-per-view between the Usos and the Dustheads, whatever the fuck you want to call them, Goldie and Stardust. After that, we get a tag team match. Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler defeat The Miz and Cesaro. This, of course, building towards both of these matches that are going to be at the pay-per-view. And, of course, R-Truth and Damien Sandow were at ringside in, of course, their respective corners. Up next, Adam Rose defeats Heath Slater. Titus O'Neil, of course, was at ringside with Slater, and Rose got the win after the Bunny got in the ring and provided a distraction. Whatever. Roman Reigns versus Rusev is announced for the main event. And then we get a 6-man tag team match. The Wyatt family defeats The Big Show and Los Matadores. Now, I don't remember it being announced as this, but either way, I don't really give a fuck. Apparently the finish was Bray Wyatt caught one of the Matadors with Sister Abigail for the win. I'm guessing caught him out of a dive or some shit. I don't know, or care. AJ Lee is out next for commentary. Paige defeats Nikki Bella in a non-title match. Fans chanted for CM Punk as AJ entered the ring with the Divas title after the match. Paige demanded the title and they struggled for it, and then Nikki laid them both out and posed with the title. Now, of course, this is also building towards their match at the pay-per-view. If you haven't heard, and why would you care, we have a 3-way title match for the pay-per-view. AJ, Paige, and Nikki Bella, with no sign of Brie, so I don't know. Yeah, don't know how that one's gonna go, but I will leave that for my predictions video. Up next, we get Bo Dallas defeating Jack Swagger. Swagger controlled a lot of the match, and they fought outside of the ring. Bo cut a promo and told Swagger to Bo leave after the match. Didn't Swagger beat Bo on Raw? Are these two going to have a pay-per-view match? I don't know. I don't get this. It's really stupid booking. this guy wins a match, and then the other guy wins a match, and then go back and forth. It's like, if they're winning matches against other people, that would be fine. Like, typical heel tactics, you try to cost your opponent or your rival his matches with other people. You come out, you try to distract him, shit like that. But if they're just having matches against each other all the time, and they're just going back and forth trading wins, what is this, a best of 7 series? Who cares? Moving on. Rusev versus Roman Reigns in the main event ends when Seth Rollins interfered. Of course Rollins had to interfere. Rusev wins by DQ because Rollins jumped off the top rope with his briefcase at Reigns, but Reigns moved and Rollins hit Rusev instead. So even though it was a mistake, the referee awards the match to Rusev for no goddamn reason. Reigns sent Rollins to the floor and hit a Superman punch on Rusev, but then Rollins pulled Reigns to the floor and they brawled over the announcer's table. This was a good back and forth match with some good power move sequences. Whatever the fuck. So there's your spoilers for SmackDown. Yeah. Doesn't sound all that great. Let's see. Can I see any other things worth talking about here? No, not really. Oh, right. There was the one thing. You may remember from my Raw video, me complaining or bitching, whatever you want to call it, about how the Rusev and Mark Henry thing closed Raw, strangely, for no real reason. Apparently the reason for this has nothing to do with the feud between Rusev and Henry, and more to do with the fact that it looks like Rusev is being groomed to be the next meal to be fed to John Cena. So once Night of Champions is over, and their respective matches, Cena's match with Lesnar and Rusev's match with Mark Henry, it looks like the two of them are going to go into a feud with each other. Rusev and Cena, that is. I can't be surprised. This is where I thought it was going from the beginning. Of course, Cena being the, ultimate patriot, saluting people and going to visit with the troops and all this stuff, Of course, and he'll probably be the one to finally kill off Rusev. I won't miss Rusev if he does disappear after Cena destroys him. But I just don't see much of a point to it, because what this leads me to believe is Cena's probably going to lose his match with Lesnar. Because I really don't think they would give Rusev a shot at the title if Cena were to win. I do have a theory on that, but we'll, again, save that for the pay-per-view predictions. So, Cena's going to go into a feud with Rusev. Anyways, like I said, knew it was coming, so I'm not surprised. Won't really care because, as I've said before, I don't know if I'm going to be watching anymore after Night of Champions. Even if Dean Ambrose is supposed to come back the Raw after, he may even come back at Night of Champions. Even if he does, one guy, well, he's not the only guy, but still, there's just not enough there for me to care anymore. So, sorry to see it end this way, but I just can't keep wasting my time watching this god-awful show every week. I've got so many other things I want to do. I just don't want to waste my time with this stupid WWE crap anymore. And now I'm not even sure if I would want to switch over to TNA, because I just saw something earlier today. I think I saw it over Facebook. Apparently, I don't know if this is a one-time thing or if they've signed him to a long-term contract, but apparently TNA has brought in Brodus Clay. And I'm sure long-time viewers of the show will know that I did not like Brodus Clay at all. Apparently, from the picture I saw, he was standing there next to EC3, Derek Bateman, whatever you want to call him. So that would lead me to believe that EC3 brought him in as his new bodyguard. So I'm like, hey, Brodus, congratulations, you're back to being a bodyguard. Why didn't you just call Snoop Dogg and ask for your old job back? It's the same thing. Oh, because in TNA it's actually fake, and so you're not really exerting as much energy as you do when you're being an actual bodyguard for somebody. Christ. I don't know. Like I said, not sure if it was a one-time thing or if it's going to be a long-term thing. Hopefully it's not long-term, because Brodus ain't shit. He ain't worth shit. He's just plain shit. So, yeah. And it's like, with all the guys that WWE has let go over the last year or so, you pick Brodus Clay, one of the worst, one of the absolute worst as far as wrestling, mic skills. Yeah, let's take the guy who was this, the Funkasaurus. Great fucking gimmick, by the way. Yeah. You pick him up, but not somebody who was actually good, like, I don't know. Didn't they fire Kurt Hawkins here recently? WWE, that is. Why wouldn't TNA pick him up? He would fit in fantastic in the X Division. They used Trent Beretta once or twice in TNA. Why not get him back and get Kurt Hawkins? And maybe get, what was his name? Kalen Croft. Anyways, who really cares? I think that's really it for this episode of the Wrestling Rant. There's not really much else to say. Look forward to my predictions video for the pay-per-view itself. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that anytime tonight or if I'm just going to wait until Saturday. Probably wait until Saturday. But that has been this edition of Wrestling Rant. SmackDown, which will be for September 19th, 2014. I kind of forgot to do that part at the beginning, but it's September 19th, 2014. And it was in Biloxi, Mississippi. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the predictions video, as that'll be the next thing that I do for the Wrestling Rant. We're going to see what's going to happen at the pay-per-view. I don't know. Depending on what happens at the pay-per-view, I might keep watching and keep doing these Wrestling Rant videos. I just can't imagine them actually pulling something off that would make me want to keep watching. Like I said, even if Ambrose comes back, even when Daniel Bryan finally comes back, that's still not going to be enough, you know? The wrestling is still very minimal on Raw and SmackDown for the I don't know about SmackDown though. But the wrestling, the matches still aren't that great. The Divas division has gone to complete shit. I mean, the fact that Paige is still holding the Divas title is the only saving grace. And the only other person she could drop it to that would make it not suck would be AJ. But how much you want to bet somebody's going to get pinned by Nikki at the pay-per-view? I should save that for the fucking pay-per-view prediction video. I can just see them doing that because they're that fucking stupid. Anyways, that's it for the SmackDown video for the Wrestling Rant. Like I said, once again, September 19th, 2014 will be when that airs. Stay tuned for the pay-per-view predictions video, the Night of Champions predictions. I'll take my notes for that, and we will see what I think, because I can't even remember all the matches off the top of my head. We will get to that for the pay-per-view predictions video. Stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Join us next time, and we will see you then.